The ideas that gave birth to our nation are the ideas that our nation is resistant to right now, and we should talk about that all the time.
In a world where narratives are shaped by corporations and gatekeepers, independent voices matter more than ever. Badlands Media brings together citizen journalists, researchers, and independent thinkers.
The truth is triggering.
Question the narrative. Explore the facts.
It's authenticity, courage, resilience.
Search for the truth others won't.
It's not about being first or being right.
The information war is changing.
It's about being authentic.
Embrace the friction.
Embrace the friction.
Shut the f*** up.
Authentically antagonizing. Join the movement.
I'm gonna say how I feel.
Follow Badlands Media.
This is about the future.
The Badlands. What are the Badlands? Explain those Badlands. That's a hell of a name.
Mr. Vice President, I'm going off script again, I know, but I just want to personally thank you. We've been through some stuff. We've gone through some of the most complex military operations this country's ever conducted, and your steady hand and your leadership during those was a great source of strength for me. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your character. Thank you for your selfless service. Thank you for commitment. Thank you for being a mentor to me, Mr. Vice President.
It's called the swamp. And you know what happened? And you know what I did? A big favor. I caught the swamp. I caught them all. Let's see what happens. Nobody else could have done that but me. I caught all of this corruption that was going on, and nobody else could have done it. Did I get that one right? Every 4 years, we gather on these steps to carry out the orderly and peaceful transfer of power. Today's ceremony, however, has very special meaning, because today we are not merely transferring power from one administration to another, but we are transferring power from Washington, D.C., and giving it back to you, the people. For too long, a small group in our nation's capital has reaped the rewards of government, while the people have borne the cost. Washington flourished, but the people did not share in its wealth. This American carnage stops right here and stops right now. The forgotten men and women of our country will be forgotten no longer. From this day forward, a new vision will govern our land. From this day forward, it's going to be only America first.
This is a president of the United States who is a danger to the republic.
America first.
He knows he's an illegitimate president.
The oath of office I take today is an oath of allegiance to all Americans.
The great Trump recovery.
America will never be a socialist country. I will fight for you with every breath in my body.
Russia, Russian, pro-Russian, Russian, the Russians.
Russia.
And I will never, ever let you down.
A dangerous virus is spreading rapidly in China, and U.S. officials are very worried that it could come here.
This is really the worst attack we've ever had. This is worse than Pearl Harbor. This is worse than the World Trade Center. There's never been an attack like this. The time for empty talk is over. Now arrives the hour of action. What they're doing is using COVID to steal an election. Together, we will make America strong again. You know what it's about? Fraud, fake ballot. We will make America wealthy again.
They are trying to steal the election.
Now, under the leadership of President Trump, we are fully realizing President Kennedy's prescient view of special operations forces.
We will make America proud again.
And watch, please, those mail-in ballots.
We will make America safe again.
And in millions and millions of ballots, their vote is under what they thought they needed.
They're dumping more ballots in there, okay? And yes, together, we will make America great again. Thank you. God bless you.
If we are right about the fraud, Joe Biden can't be president.
Congress, the chair declares the joint session dissolved.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Saturday edition of the Devolution Power Hour. As always, I'm joined by the one and only Chris Paul. Chris, how's your weekend going?
It's going great, John.
Yeah, I love that enthusiasm. It's going to be a great show, so glad you're enthusiastic about it.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of just, persisting. Like
100% raring to go. Yes, the horrors, I mean, are they even around anymore?
I don't know. They seem to have kind of died off a little bit and maybe taken a new form. Hunter Biden's on Twitter, and I don't know what to think of that, man. It's actually kind of entertaining. We got to talk about that tonight a little bit.
For sure.
Because when I used to think horrors, Hunter Biden was like one of the first things that came to mind. But now it's kind of funny to watch him participate, if that's even him. No reason to believe it is, but except for potential AI videos.
I mean, anything is possible.
Yeah. But yeah, we got lots to discuss tonight. I feel like the California election stuff. Last episode that we did together Saturday, we talked about California, Spencer Pratt. They're going to steal it, all those things. We'll see what happens. And now they're stealing it. And there's been some interesting, everybody's talking about the U.S. attorney is investigating down there. And then the U.S. attorney comes out. I don't know if you saw this, but he has a post that's like, yeah, there's a conspiracy theory running around about the elections down there. And that's false. So,
well, it was a specific one, though. It wasn't like there's no problems with these elections.
Yeah,
right.
No, we'll get into that. Right. We got a new NSPM. Super Russell Jimmy's by that. We'll talk about that tonight because it revealed two more classified ones. Interesting pardon from Trump. We got an update on the CIA officer story. I think we have more. But
that story's fantastic.
So silly. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see where the show takes us. And obviously, whatever you guys in the chat have to say, we'll maybe include that as well if it comes in rant format. So I figured we could start off the show with a quick sponsor. Who do we even have tonight? I don't even know if I checked. We got a couple of Rumble ones. So let's start with some soft disclosure. We'll do one of the Rumble ads, and then we'll come back a little bit later and do the other Rumble one. First up, get yourself some lotion from the Lotion Raider, everybody.
A long time ago, a raider went into a dangerous cave because he was on an adventure. Or like he smelled like an adventure. But the cave was protected by spiders and lizards. No, it was snakes. Snakes? Why did it have to be snakes? Whatever it was, the raider wasn't scared of it because it was Ghost, the Lotion Raider. Then he found the golden deodorant. That's not deodorant, that's the towel bar. It was soft disclosure. Ghost had exactly 1 second to switch it, or the whole cave explodes. And then the boulders started chasing him. Run, Ghost, run! Oh no, he dropped the soft disclosure. I got it. I understand its power now. That lotion is an important artifact and it belongs in every household. Visit softdisclosure.com and use promo code LotionWaiter for 15% off.
Softdisclosure.com. I mean, I know our ads are awesome, guys, but seriously, the product is awesome too. So get yourself some Soft Disclosure. Have you been paying attention? I know you have. We've been texting about it. The hockey game.
I only looked at it when Burning Bright texted about it. So what's going on now?
Carolina scored 3 goals in the third so far. It's 4-3. Yeah.
Wow. The
Yeah,
last time something like that happened, it was the
Shut up.
Colorado.
Shut up. Are you about to talk about the Minnesota Wild?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. God damn it. Oh, my heart's broken still.
That's how it goes.
How dare you beat us like that only to go on and get swept by the freaking Knights.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you, Prevost, in the chat for keeping us up to date on the score of that game.
Wow, that is crazy.
Yeah.
In like 8.5 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, Vegas scored 4 goals in the third. And I only saw I didn't see any of the actual goals, but I saw they had 2 that were called back because of one was an offsides, one was a goaltender interference.
Mm-hmm.
And then they went on to score like 4 more that counted. And now 3 from Carolina in the third. It's crazy shit. Anyway, let's talk California elections. We got a great video from, I think this is the New York Post.
Yeah,
is there anything you want to say?
So much crazy shit in this video.
Yeah, is there anything you want to like contact?
We can pause it or whatever.
Okay, let's do it.
Is the election being stolen in California?
So let's pause it here first, because just the way he says that, he almost makes it seem like, obviously not. That's retarded. Like just the tone of his voice.
Also, he looks like a character from GoldenEye on the N64.
Odd Job, except it's not Odd Job. It's the other guy. Damn it.
The tall, like the Russian giant or whatever.
Yeah, let me look that up. That's so true. That was GoldenEye.
Or then after that, they made this game called Perfect Dark, and there are definitely characters in Perfect Dark that this guy looks like. And somebody in the chat for sure. I bet more than one person will be like, "Oh yeah, I know exactly what reference that is."
Is it one of these guys? Gosh, I missed this game. I got to play this one of these days.
But those are like the photos. I mean, how they look over on the side. You see?
Yeah, I got to find I think it's
on that guy with the suspenders, just so that they can get an idea of what faces look like on there.
Oh, that's so true.
Gosh.
You could be forgiven for wondering.
He reminds me of the guy who was outside in like the Russian cemetery. Remember that scene?
In the video game?
Yeah.
No, but I'm going to look that up while we're listening to this.
Okay.
Is the election being stolen in California? You could be forgiven for wondering because of the slow pace at which ballots are being counted and the number of critical races that are yet to be decided.
Okay, so I think we should stop it a bunch of times and talk about what he's doing here.
Totally down.
He's basically accepting the country is having this conversation. So we are going to be, we as the authoritative people who go and find out whether there's actually something wrong, we're going to let you know how to understand this.
Take, for example, the race for Los Angeles mayor.
Hold on, I found it.
Okay.
Oh, that's not. I gotta show the right screen.
I mean, that's the same guy.
That's him. That's him. That's so good. God, what a good reference. How'd you think of that?
Oh no, man.
Oh. He's probably got a briefcase of ballots right there.
Yeah, he just got off that helicopter that they sent with the ballots in LA. Did you see that shit?
Yes, I did see that. I'll pull that video up too for after this.
City Council member Nitya Raman keeps creeping closer and closer to second place finisher Spencer Pratt.
It would be kind of funny for somebody with the first name Raman to come back and win. She's a socialist too, isn't she?
Oh yeah. Yeah. She's like the Los Angeles Mamdani.
Yeah. Okay.
As more votes are counted. That has sent the prediction markets into a tailspin. And now many of them are saying that Raman has a better chance of beating incumbent Mayor Karen Bass than Pratt.
Okay. So the prediction markets are in a tailspin, and that is news. And many of them are saying that Raman has a better chance than Pratt. What does that mean? It doesn't mean anything.
No.
Like, how can that mean anything? It's just people deciding whether or not, like, which thing they think is going to happen.
Yeah, just whatever they want to bet on.
I mean, that's not an aspect of election analysis, but it's being inserted.
Yeah,
to
think
make us
of,
think it's like a certainty. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I'm just trying to like elaborate kind of on a metaphor here. So think of a roulette table, and you go and put like $50 on, I don't know, black 22 or whatever. Is that the game roulette? Like where you pick the color and the number? Yeah. Black 22. Does your bet on that black 22 move the odds of it landing on black 22, Chris? I don't think that's how it works.
No, it does not. No. So yeah. And the parallel works no matter how many people bet that it's going to happen one way or another. That doesn't change the quote unquote votes that are being counted, does it? Unless they're just gauging public perception.
Which is totally what they're doing. Love it. Okay, let's keep going. By the way, what's going on with their forehead hairs here? See that?
I have. You're not allowed to talk about black women hair, John.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not an expert either. I'm not trying to claim I am, but just looking at that, it doesn't look normal, like for any colored hair. Like it looks like it's growing onto her forehead. And I feel like somebody with her kind of money, which I got to assume she has, being the mayor of LA.
Yeah.
She's probably got enough money to like do something about that, but whatever, we'll move on.
That does. But never put down to malevolence what could be explained by incompetence.
No. That is absolutely backwards. Never excuse as incompetence that which would make perfect sense if it's malevolence. What in the world? What kind of like cipher for truth is that?
Well, it's a completely backwards one because these people are participating in the psyop of the fraudulent elections.
Yeah, it's unbelievable the way he's just able to stand there like programming people.
Dude, I got to give a big shout out to, let me show this. Johnny A or whatever, gifted a sub, and you got the subscription. So congrats, Chris. You're a subscriber to Badlands Media. It's been a long road. No, you got it right here. This is us. This is like when Flo rated the stream.
Got it. Well, congratulations to me.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, John.
It's a big day.
Johnny.
Counting
Johnny.
Oops. Let's rewind a little bit. Okay, whatever this shitty quote was.
The plaque does. But never put down to malevolence what could be explained by incompetence. California's vote counting system is truly terrible, and the reasons are many. One is that California allows ballot.
I love how they use the image where they have like
up to 7 days.
We're both trying to pause at the same time. The duct tape on this is so funny.
There we go.
Look at that.
They chose this shot. They chose to show people this shot. Why? Like, hey, we've got problems here with the elections in California. Some of those problems are with the machines. You see that one of the machines is just a little busted on the outside, and we would fix it if only they would give us more resources.
It's insanity. It is weird, like trying to get them to say, like, yeah, here's why our elections suck. Like, we understand it. We can sympathize and empathize with all you guys thinking that there's fraud here, but just trust us. It's not happening. It's not that. We got duct tape on the problem. Don't worry about it.
After Election Day, as long as they're postmarked by Election Day. Another reason is that California sends out mail-in ballots to everybody, regardless of whether they asked for one or not. So you have a huge number of votes coming in by mail.
Wait a second. Sending out ballots to everyone might make it so that there are more votes coming in by mail and fewer people going to the polls. But it also means that all of the people who don't vote at all still have ballots floating out there in the world. And so to say that there's like a good explanation for all of this, that like, yes, the mail-in ballots to everyone makes it take longer. Those are like 2 wins for the election fraud system. And we're being presented them as though they're just like, oh, they're just these kind of quirky things about California. They want 6 weeks to be able to wait out whatever kind of cultural urge there is to get the result. It kind of lets the understanding that it's going to be Rahman and not Pratt sink in for a time, and then they finally deliver the result they want. So it's good that it takes a long time, and they have all these extra ballots that they can collect because ballot harvesting isn't illegal. They can just fill these ballots out and submit them to the system. There's no way to take them out of the system. And they're showing all this signature matching stuff. But if you paid any attention to the signature matching process in Arizona, you can understand that signature matching is bullshit.
Yeah, it's almost like they're letting people down easy, like getting people to temper their own expectations before they finally like going for the kill shot. But also, I know California is a big state, but when somebody, you know, postmarks a ballot, right, and or whatever, and you like that means it's in the mail, right?
Mm-hmm.
What possible explanation could you have for ballots that were postmarked election day to still be arriving at this point? Like you can order something on Amazon and sometimes get it the same damn day, depending where you're at. Never in North Dakota, but like even like I can order something from Florida and it can get here in a matter of 3 or 4 days from Florida to North Dakota. But in California, the same state, it might take more than 5-6 days to get a ballot in. Like that makes zero sense unless that's a cover story for something maybe a little more incompetent, not nefarious, Chris, incompetent.
Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah, just incompetence. That's the only problem here.
Yeah.
And then California doesn't begin counting the absentee ballots until the election is over, whereas other states count them as they arrive. There are other reasons that California is very slow. California.
So let's just get that part too. They don't start counting the mail-in ballots, of which they know they're going to have millions upon millions because they send them out to everybody. But they don't start counting them until the election is over. Now, you could argue that that's actually the right way to do it, but it's not going to get you the result very quickly. And other states obviously get the result immediately from having started before. That one is actually worthy of a discussion, but whatever.
Sends all of the ballots, particularly in LA County, to.
Well, also that made me think of something though. Like they already determined that Karen Bass is going to be on the runoff election with so many ballots outstanding, and obviously like there's things changing here. Yep. So why were they able to do that?
I have absolutely no idea, other than they believe the polls, which are made up. Yeah. And the polls indicate that Karen Bass has been the favorite the entire time. There's like, it's really unlikely that they're going to skew so heavy to Rahman and Pratt that she could lose that many votes. I think that's how they would say it.
Yeah. A couple of comments from YouTube here. They get on a stage and accuse each other of literally being evil and then say, vote for evil 1 or evil 2. And I really can't wait for candidates who any accusation against will backfire against the accuser. And so no accusations are even made against them.
We're getting to that point, I think. And we can
sounds
talk.
Like he's describing Plattner right now.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
California sends all of the ballots, particularly in LA County, to one counting area and doesn't count them in the voting stations where they might be counted more quickly. There are lots of reforms on the table, lots of ways to fix.
There is no reason to do that. Like the centralization of any of this stuff is just bad. That's what we saw in 2020. They switched from these small precincts where and let's just say in a world where elections are real and these people aren't all corrupt. If there was an actual error made, you would want that error to affect as few things as possible and be as easy to find as possible. And that sort of thing is easier in small precincts where a few people from the neighborhood are like present and monitoring the election, and then they're monitoring the count or participating in the count or whatever it is afterward. And that's how things used to run. And which is not to say that elections were perfect back then either. But man, the big vote centers, I voted in 2020 at the Hollywood Bowl. It's like a massive concert venue and huge parking lots outside and the rest of it. But I used to vote at like a little school cafeteria or like a gymnasium with a couple hundred other people on, like expected to vote there that day. And that's it. And then all of a sudden you're at the Hollywood Bowl, where for 4 weeks, millions of people, whoever wants to, can come by and vote there. It's crazy.
It is crazy. Like, yeah, here in North Dakota, depending on where you live in town, you're assigned a school that you go to or wherever, like a location. And so it's all divided up. There's not like one big place. You could also go to the one big place as well, but at the Civic Center, but most people go to their assigned little location. It's crazy.
Yeah. And it's like, it's just accountability and verifiability and the rest of it is just easier that way. Like, that's why you decentralize things.
Yeah, I don't know. The way California does it and the way they're doing things continually, like they don't even care anymore. They're not even trying to pass it off as if it's anything but fraud.
Man, and the people of California, or at least, and I don't want to say the people of California, the people I know in Los Angeles, those kinds of people are totally unaware that there is an actual problem deeper than there are some illegals voting, like the shit that they see on Twitter. And by the way, that's the reason they all think that. For everybody who's like, Elon Musk, free speech, saved the world with this free speech platform. Well, all the kinds of election fraud that they talk about on that platform are the more mundane sorts of problems, like the ones this guy is describing. And they watch a bunch of videos like this where the guy tells them, yes, we know that there's some concerns, but everything's okay. Yes, we acknowledge your concern, but everything's okay. Trust us, everything's okay. Well, it's not okay. And it's 6 years later, and they don't know that in California, where it's like the most obviously messed up.
Yeah. I think a good example of that too, which we'll get to after this video, is the one that was floating around. Everybody's harping on, I think it was like the NBC or everybody harps on those like apps that like, oh my gosh, there was a ballot update and somebody didn't get the votes. Like, this is clearly the fraud. That being like shared around as like this huge conspiracy theory. And then it immediately got debunked. Like the same people pushing that. And then all of a sudden everybody was super excited about the attorney going in there. And then immediately the attorney himself was like, yeah, that's not what happened, guys. That was debunked. Like, what do you think that does to people that are looking at that being like, oh, maybe there was some shit here. Oh, that got debunked. Like that's a pretty easily debunkable thing, all because of a website, news reporting app. You go to the actual like LA County Recorder stuff. And guys, there is a mass amounts of fraud in California. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, when we put out these ones and go ham promoting the one conspiracy stuff that can easily be debunked, it works against the overall problem of exposing the election fraud. But we'll get to that in a second.
But the short answer is no, this doesn't really look like a steal. It would be too obvious. And keep in mind,
it doesn't look like a steal because it would be too obvious. That's not anything. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, it's the same thing they've been saying about elections. Like, yeah, I mean, election fraud could exist, but could never be done to a scale that could affect the outcome. Like, there's no such thing as outcome determinative fraud. And so what he just said there, basically, just different words.
Let's just listen to it again.
Lots of ways to fix this, but the short answer is no, this doesn't really look like a steal. It would be too obvious. And
under what conditions would he say that an election does look like it's being stolen? Like, what would be required for this person or anyone of his ilk to say it looks like this election is being stolen? And the answer is there is no condition under which they would say that. It could be even more obvious than this, I guess.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Like, he's getting paid to put this out there. Like, this is propaganda.
Yeah. For sure.
So maybe if you take away the incentive behind it, maybe he wouldn't be putting stuff like this out there. But
well, sure. Yes, I agree with you. But I'm saying the mass communicators, this is what I agree. This is what they get paid to communicate. Like, there's no circumstance unless it was going to help them directly take down Donald Trump. I cannot imagine a circumstance where they would say these elections look like they're stolen.
That's a very good point, though. If it was Donald Trump, the shoe was on the other foot, they'd be all over it. But
well, yeah, and that's what they do with elections in other countries. Like, this is what they do with Putin. This is what they did with the referenda in the 4 provinces that we've been calling Ukraine for the last 4 years for some reason, that all voted to be part of Russia and are part of Russia. Go ahead.
Did you see we sent them more money? We voted to send more money.
Yes. yeah, they voted to pass a discharge petition out of the House, right?
Yeah.
And Kevin Kiley, who you interviewed.
I interviewed, yeah.
Yeah, he was one of those votes.
Yes, he was. He's
California
independent
Republican. Now. And it's good to
independent.
remember. Oh, yes, sorry. Republican was too much. When people are like, yeah, we really need to elect Republicans in California. Well, okay, go ahead.
Look what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point. And there's something else on Ukraine. Oh, Zelensky wants to meet with Putin on neutral turf to finally put an end to this thing. It's just gone on long enough for him. But yeah, anyway, let's finish this video up.
Keep in mind, the people who are being accused of trying to steal the election, the unions in particular, they want Spencer Pratt in the general election because they don't want to have to spend money on a left-on-left, blue-on-blue fight between Bass and Rahman.
That's a good one, too.
In the world does that mean? They want to face Spencer Pratt because they don't want to pay for this campaign, which wouldn't even be a campaign. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I think that's a great point. That's hysterical, though. He's like, and obviously, like, if they were going to cheat, they'd be cheating for Spencer Pratt. Like, that's basically what he's trying to say here, which is retarded.
Even though many of California's arcane rules are supposedly designed to make voting easier, by discouraging the public from trusting the process, they're actually discouraging people from voting. Unless there are reforms made like voter ID and other reforms, you'll...
That's what they say about us.
I know. Yeah.
I hate everything.
You're going to discourage people from voting. That's a problem. And so we have to talk about the fakery in our elections in a different way other than honesty.
Yeah, and that makes me think, for all the people who get mad at us for talking about election fraud and, the voting and opting out or whatever, like there is so many people online talking about election fraud right now. Like, is that okay? Is it okay all of a sudden just because it's big and obvious in California, but every other time it's not okay? Like, when is it okay now? Like, give me a signal or something to let me know. Smoke signal.
Yeah, I don't think
stupid.
I don't know if they have figured out how this is how the secret white hats versus secret black hats line up in this scenario and where Trump would come down on it. So right now it's just a wait and see until they get the comms from.
Well, I did see we got comms from Spencer Pratt. He posted a picture of himself in some cool photos in front of like a big building.
Oh yeah.
And all he said was patience. And that was signal that meant he knew what was going on. They're going to be stopped. It's going to be fixed. Everything's going to be okay. And that was the decode. So
yeah, those were such ridiculous pictures.
Yes, they were.
Those are like, and I say this from some experience, those are like the pictures that an actor takes when he first moves to Los Angeles and needs shots so that he can try to get acting roles, but doesn't know any good photographers and doesn't have the money to pay for a professional photographer. So somebody goes and takes his pictures. He puts on like a suit and stands in some weird poses at a weird angle with weird lighting in front of a building. See, like that. Look at that.
I mean, I'd hire him to be an actor. Look how good he can walk away. Yeah. Like just oblivious to the camera, everything going on around him. That's beautiful. He'd be a great extra. All right, let's finish this up. Oh, that's the wrong one.
Many people continue to question the accuracy and integrity of California's.
I'm going to rewind a little bit so we get the full quote here.
Supposedly designed to make voting easier by discouraging the public from trusting the process, they're actually discouraging people from voting. Unless there are reforms made like voter ID and other reforms, you'll see many people continue to question the accuracy and integrity of California's results.
So what we don't want is the questioning of results. And in order to prevent that, in order to solve that problem, what we need to do is pass the SAVE Act. That's the only thing that he didn't say specifically SAVE Act, but he's saying voter ID. Voter ID would solve it. Voter ID would not solve it. This is ridiculous. And I mean, this is one of those pieces where I just see limited hangout. Like this is a distraction. They are trying to tell you that nothing is wrong in California's elections, and people are going to believe that.
It's ridiculous.
Part of the reason people believe this shit is because the people who know better think that it's good that the conversation is being had. They're like happy with a false conversation that doesn't get people where they ultimately need to go. Like voter ID does not solve this. And that's the California Post, which is like the New York Post, the new New York Post they just opened up. But that's like a Murdoch paper. So these are supposed to be the based and red pilled conservatives.
By the way, Carolina scored it as 4-4.
That is crazy. Wow.
Yeah, they mailed in a goal and tied it up. This is the helicopter video I think we were talking about earlier. A little Asian.
Yes.
I think that's Fang Fang, California.
The LA County Department is flying in ballots from vote centers across the region. You can see the choppers landing right now. We're standing in the parking lot of the LA County Registrar's ballot processing center. They land right here in the middle, and then you see workers. They're standing.
Yeah, it's too loud, but it is funny. They can fly in ballots, but they couldn't fly in water to put out the fires down there. Wonder how people feel about that. This is what everybody was going nuts about yesterday. This from Nick Sortor. This guy is clickbait McGee. Everything is breaking now. Sirens, all that. An assistant U.S. attorney is now inside, and that is all caps inside. So, it's extra inside the Los Angeles Ballot Processing Center as U.S. Attorney S.A. Lee announces multiple federal investigations into voter fraud in California. Expose it all. And then the big one going around, I think Nick Sorter himself posted it a few times, was the conspiracy about the ballot drop. There was one ballot drop that everybody's looking at.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I mentioned earlier, where Bass got votes, Ramen Noodles got vote, but Spencer Pratt got 0. But it turns out like very shortly after that, they updated it again and Spencer Pratt got his votes. But this attorney that he is talking about right here, this S.A. Lee or whatever, came to social media and he posted. Did I already lose this? I did. Let me click into this guy's account. Right here. There was a claim circulated on social media about an election night ballot update at the Los Angeles Registrar of Voters where one candidate received 0 votes. We reviewed official county records. The claim is false. Each candidate received votes in every update. My office will continue monitoring the election counting process and will follow the evidence wherever it leads. If anyone has credible information concerning election fraud, please send it to CA election fraud tips at usdoj.gov. So debunked. So dumb. I hate everything.
What a strange claim that was.
Yeah. But I mean, that's still used about 2020. It's like I saw it on the screen. It showed a number and then it changed to a different number. Like, that's not where they're committing the fraud, guys.
Yeah. Yes. But I mean, the whole thing is a mess. And the point is that nobody can verify any of it. There's no reason for any American to trust any of the results of any election, period. And like, that means you can't form a government. I don't know like why we can't just get past that understanding. Okay. It's not that like you want society to devolve into chaos. That's not the only option when we discover that our government's not legitimate.
Yeah, I don't know why people can't get over that either. But people like are really uncomfortable having that conversation, like what it actually means when you don't have legitimate elections, and what like the logical end result of that is if everybody agrees that yeah, our elections are illegitimate. But I don't know, maybe is it a fear thing? Is it an incentives thing? I just don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean it's the fear of society being destabilized. And I think it's a valid fear. And I think that on some levels society would be, and I don't mean totally destabilized, but like it would be shaken, we understand that we're like a 50-50 country because of election results and polls and basically nothing else.
Yeah.
Like we are permanently divided because we believe that polls reflect some reality and that the results of elections reflect some reality. But neither of those things are true. And so we actually have to understand our society, our community, and the rest of it in a totally different way than we do. And I think that there's probably a lot of people with pretty good reason to worry about what that actually means in relation to how they've acted and how they've treated people.
Yeah. And honestly, I mean, things kind of feel a little destabilized the way it is. Like that's kind of the standard operating procedure. Maybe a little shaken, not stirred situation wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but I don't know.
That really is an important point. Like it's already, I don't want to say bad because that's an interpretation that everybody has to make for themselves, you know, and like you can
call it black hat.
Find reasons to be
black hat right now.
What's that?
I just said just call it black hat instead of bad. Well, put that label on. Sorry, I'm just being dumb.
I don't know, but you can. It's part of it is just your disposition about how things are going. But if we're talking only about the status of the government and the people's relationship with the government, like it's already destabilized. It's totally out of balance. That is all an absolute catastrophe already. So, I mean, how much destabilization can we tolerate? You know, and I hope it's at least some. If we cannot tolerate any destabilization from an already bad situation, well, that just means that we're resigned to allowing it to be bad forever.
Yeah. Another good comment in the chat from this guy. I don't know who it is. Imagine people who get scared of thunderstorms. They would rather not have them, but yet the earth needs them. So these people would rather the earth suffer for their own comfort. And that's kind of what it is. They want people to suffer for their own comfort. People are too comfy. They don't like change. And I get that. My kid's kind of like that. He doesn't like change. I still have my freaking Jeep that it's been sitting on my street for a year, but I can't sell it because he would like get upset for me selling it. Like he doesn't like change that much. So I don't know. I get what you're saying, man. Babbage says a shaking so that which cannot be shaken is all that remains. What happens if we do go through that? Like if we do go through that, what is left, you know?
Well, what do you, I guess that kind of depends. First of all, I think that, as we've talked a number of times, it's about leverage shifting from one power structure to another. And I think leverage has been gradually shifting over time from one to another. So it would just be a quickening of the pace of that process. I think a lot of the, I think people are highly incentivized, and even the bad people are highly incentivized to not allow the situation to go to shit. So I think that there's ways that you can kind of dismantle things in stages, understanding that they need to be dismantled. And a lot of that is like not even controversial, at least in the community of Donald Trump supporters. A lot of people want to see big chunks of the federal government dismantled, various institutions. And, you know, I probably want to see much more of that than most people, but most people agree that like the EPA or like the Department of Education, that there are big chunks of the federal government that can and should be dismantled because the government doesn't belong in charge of those things. And we don't have a need for those sorts of entities. And I'm saying just increase the number of that. You know, it doesn't mean that everything just falls apart right away. And the other part of it is to refocus on what's going on locally, which no one's focused on, including us, by the way, because everything is focused on to the extent we're focused on politics, we're focused on national politics. Go ahead.
That reminds me, when you're talking about the Department of Education and that agency maybe not even, you know, shouldn't exist anymore. We got to talk about that Bill Pulte story and Trump's D&I comments about destroying or potentially getting rid of the DNI's office. I think that's an interesting one and something we've been talking about for a while. Pretty cool when Trump comes out and speaks what we've been saying. I do got to get a quick Rumble spot in now because we have to come back later and do another one after a half an hour. So I'm going to do that really quick. And we got, what is it? Rumble Wallet first. We hear a lot about crypto, but here's the part that most people miss. Crypto was created so you could actually own and control your own money. After the 2008 financial crisis, Bitcoin was designed as an alternative to banks. So instead of a bank holding your money, delaying transfers or limiting access, you are the one in control. And if you've ever had to wait for a transfer to clear, you have felt that problem. Now, fast forward to today, everyone's heard of crypto, but getting started still feels complicated. That's exactly why we use Rumble Wallet. It takes all that complexity, makes it super simple. You choose what you want, whether that's Bitcoin, dollar-backed stablecoins, or even digital gold backed by real gold. There's no complicated setup. It connects with MoonPay, so you can use your credit card, debit card, or bank and be up and running in minutes. And once you're set up, you can even support your favorite Rumble creators like us here at Badlands directly. So do this now, scan the QR code, or click the link in the description and download Rumble Wallet. From there, you can set up your wallet, tap buy, and you're in the game. In just a few minutes, you can go from hearing about crypto to actually owning some. Thank you to Rumble Studio and Rumble Wallet. Was there anything else you want to talk about California elections?
I'll just say one more thing, because, this is the moment when we're having these discussions, as we've had thousands of times. I mean, yeah. I've been having the same conversation on my podcast and on Badlands for 5 years. So people always ask for solutions. Here's the thing, okay? Any solution that is going to have the backing of the people and represent government formed in a way that the people would accept requires the people to understand what the problem is and be part of the solution process. Okay. Talking about solutions now to a problem that people don't understand and don't accept is pointless, because what would happen is I could present a solution, which, by the way, a lot of election integrity people do. They have solutions for this, solutions for that, the way the paper ballot should be, 1 day, single day voting, in person, this kind of ID, blah, blah, blah. We could go through all those things. And then what the conversation would immediately turn to is questions about each one of those things. Okay. And so we're no longer talking about whether or not elections are fake, whether or not the government is legitimate, whether or not the situation can be remedied within the scope of the system as it exists. We're talking about like the minute details of election processes that aren't even happening yet, right? Just potential election processes. And we're like, oh, I can just imagine like a guy's going to go down to the polling center that day, and that kind of idea is going to be a problem for him. And so I don't know if that's going to be a solution. Now I'm just going to ignore election fraud. Like that's what happens for 5.5 years now. There are reasons why none of this is solved.
Oh yeah. It's because we haven't passed the Save America Act. That's what you mean, right?
Totally.
I got to show you something from Elon Musk on that. But first, 15 Tony BA gifted a sub, and so did Hammer Guy 35. And thank you for the rants, guys. We'll get to those here at the end. But check out these two posts from Elon Musk. This was from today, so a little more recent than the next one I'm going to show you. But he reposts Mike Lee's thing where it says Save America Act is controversial only among Democrats in Congress. Everywhere else is common sense, blah, blah, blah. And then Elon Musk reposted, says, this is the only way to save democracy in America, talking about the Save America Act. And then this one I found especially funny because there's this post, the U.S. Senate just rejected a motion to add the Save America Act as part of the budget reconciliation on a 48-50 vote. And he goes on to say, vote them out. So the only way to save democracy is to pass the Save America Act. But the only way to get the Save America Act is to vote the people out who won't vote for it. So this is like, it's almost like a chicken or the egg type situation. Like what came first, the passing of the Save America Act or voting out the people who won't pass the Save America Act? And I don't know what to do. This is a conundrum.
Yeah, that's going to be impossible to solve.
Yeah. It's like a Rubik's Cube. Or something.
I don't think that those are supposed to be impossible to solve.
Well, I've never solved.
I'm not saying I have not either. I just don't think that they're supposed to be impossible. You can like go check out YouTube videos of like these kids
tutorials,
like magicians. They like smack it against their hand. Whole thing solved.
Well, I don't even think it's not even as much magician as it is autism or something. Like, okay, my brother-in-law, nice guy, engineer, super smart, little nerdy, slight problem, maybe slightly autistic. Like I call myself autistic, so I'm not trying to offend anybody by that. But he can solve Rubik's Cubes. He like builds Rubik's Cubes. And it's like, dude, I don't understand. But yeah, actually, I saw this video the other day. World record Rubik's Cube. Some kid like solved a two-sided Rubik's Cube in 0.39 seconds.
Whoa.
Check this out. Don't blink though, because you'll miss it. See, look at that. It's all mixed up.
Yeah. Yeah, that I don't know, man.
Oh, I'm sure he's a big hit with the ladies with those party tricks. Anyway, yeah, I think that's all I got on the election stuff, unless you got anything.
No.
Otherwise, let's move on to, let's do this one first. This one probably won't take quite as long, unless you want to actually get into the NSPM. But I've been talking about how there haven't been too many NSPMs so far this Trump term, not nearly as much in terms of pace as the first term, which is fine. Up to this point, all that was listed on the website, and it's been this way since literally, what is that, October 15th of 2025, there was 8 of them. One of them was classified, no idea what it was. You kind of figured at this point, like, maybe there's been a few that are also classified, but we won't know until we get a public one. And sure enough, we did. Trump on Friday, yesterday, issued NSPM 11, having to do with artificial intelligence in the national security enterprise. But because obviously the last one we had was 8, this is number 11. That means there are 2 classified NSPMs in there somewhere, number 9 and 10. And yeah, this one has to do with everything AI and how it gets rolled out in the military and use and everything. And they want to be the number one. Yeah, really taking his AI EOs that he's been issuing and kind of putting them into a specific directive for the military. And there's 4 pillars of them: adoption, adaptation, assurance, accountability, a bunch of other guidelines and shit, a bunch of reports that have to come from it. I don't know. Do you want to actually go into details on this, or do you care?
Man, I do. I think this is actually really interesting. And I've been writing a thing called The Great Cloud in the Sky, which is about like the effect of AI and the fact that all of our information is probably accessible somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and that whether it's the people kind of steering one of these AIs, whoever, if it's people with access and people can steer the AI, then what those people could do with all of that information, or if the machine has kind of just advanced to the point where it can do that stuff autonomously. And and you could be micro-targeted as a person, you could be targeted as a group. Everyone could be targeted at once. And that's like world-changing power.
Yeah.
And so I think, the military partnership, I guess on some level there has to be that. But yeah, I think that this is, and I haven't gone through this, so I don't know the details, but I think this issue is of massive concern. JD Vance, in a speech, I guess it was, did we talk about this? Maybe Brian and I did. He was talking, I think he was doing the graduation commencement address, whatever they call it, at the Air Force Academy. And the one note he made was that there will always be a human making the decisions. It's not going to be AI making the decisions in the military. It's always going to be a human. And man, I don't think that gets us
true
right there. Yeah.
Dude, the AI, I'm telling you, like it's growing on me. I've been working on this little like side project, and I've been texting you updates about this. But I used to always use ChatGPT and Grok, and like I would use one to kind of give me prompts for the other. Then I finally okay, there's all this hype on cloud. I see all these posts on Twitter like, this young Asian female makes $400,000 a minute by posting YouTube videos with cloud, whatever. Like, it's okay, I'm going to see if I can make $400,000 a minute. But for real, I started using cloud, and you can just type in what you want. Like, it builds websites and everything for you. You don't have to do shit. You just be like, this could probably be better here. Like, do that, and it does it. You just tell it what you want, and it does the changes for you. Previously, when I tried to build a website, remember that the website aggregator that I was working on?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I would have to type into Grok or ChatGPT what I wanted. It would provide me the code. I would take the code and have to copy and paste it into PowerShell, and then take it over to GitHub and do all these other things. I don't have to do any of that anymore. I just type in what I want, and it does all that on the back end on its own. And it's pretty remarkable. And then I can set it up through my phone so that it's like, and this is probably where, you run into concerns of like, it has access to everything and can do anything. But I have a separate computer set up, not connected to this one. And I can just be like, hey, I need you to do this. How about this? And it will work on my computer and do the things that I want it to do, coding all the shit without me having to be there. I can just do it through my phone. It's nuts.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, The thing for me is giving it all the information and all the access.
Yes. But also, Chris, they already have all that stuff.
Yeah, man, I go back and forth.
You told me that they did, so I believed you.
No, I'm not questioning that they do. I know they do.
Yeah.
I just and there's something about like integrating the whole thing, like that it could do things on my behalf without my knowledge.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, I was given the option, like, do you want this to connect to your emails and respond to emails for you? I didn't do that. Like, you can do shit like that where it like actually like communicates with the outside world for you.
Yeah.
And that I drew the line there for now. We'll see. I do get a lot of emails, but for now it's just like, you can help me with this coding thing and you can do your thing, and I don't need to just go for it. I'll tell you what I want when I see an issue, and it doesn't. It's been pretty impressive. Not gonna lie, but just think like there are much more creative people than me, and you look at that with anything, the entertainment industry and even military, like the use cases for that kind of technology is pretty astounding. Like, you could have this thing like, hey, I want this movie, go build it, and come back and it's done. Like, yeah, this scene kind of sucks, maybe tweak these, and you like think about how short of time that would take. And also the quality you could probably produce in that would be better than most movies you're getting already from real people. It's nuts.
I mean, I occasionally consider that some of the stuff that we see in movies and television that we think is real just isn't. I mean,
yeah,
it's gone so far. I remember talking to a friend who I knew from Los Angeles. She was in town, and I guess this was 2023. And she told me that, and she's like, woman that I think like wanted to act or act sometimes, but it's not like a career that she sustains herself with. She got paid $10,000 to like do a full like body scan and do the biometrics and all of that so that she could be reproduced into like scenes as like an extra, basically. That's crazy.
That 100%, that's crazy. But I was just thinking about, so this NSPM, it talks about, let me see if I can find the quote. AI is among the most transformative national security technologies in U.S. history, capable of protecting warfighters, enabling precise operations that minimize civilian harm, and ensuring American superiority on the battlefield. Like, just thinking of AI in the future of warfare, like, you know, Elon Musk is building robots, we have AI drones and all these things, and all of a sudden AI is going to be the ones doing it all. Like, what does the actual future of warfare look like if it's just our AI drone robot capabilities against their AI drone robot capabilities? Like, that is getting you closer and closer to the soft war situation that G-Money's been talking about.
Yeah. And I would encourage people to check out Jason Lowery's work on that. At least like listen to some of the interviews or watch some of the videos, just get the knowledge. I don't know that he's right, you know, but in the scenario you just described, it starts to make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I agree. Even though Bitcoin is, I don't even know if I want to look at what it's at right now.
It's
been down this week.
Flirting with going under 60.
I think it did for a brief period the other day.
Really? Oh, wow. I missed that.
Yeah, June 5th at 11:28 p.m. It got down to, looks like the low of 59,628. Then it bounced back. But everything's been down a little bit. Even the Doge website was down for a couple hours this week. Yeah.
You know, the AI description that you just read sounds a lot like when they're trying to justify the use of AI. One of the great things about AI and robotics is what it's going to do to extend people's lives. It's going to make them healthy and blah, blah, blah. Is it?
I mean, probably, but is that actually living? Like, at that point, like, are you actually living a meaningful life? Because this plays in,
have like the Neuralink. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, that and everything. Like, you think of was it Elon Musk he was pushing the idea for a while, like, we're gonna have so much abundance that nobody's gonna have to work. The AI, the robots, everybody's gonna do all the work for you. We're just gonna give you what you need to be happy and healthy, and everybody's gonna be rich. Everybody's gonna do the Dubai yacht parties. It's gonna be great. You just take what you want. And like, to me, it takes a lot of the meaning out of things. We had the debate. If I remember correctly, Bernie Bright was super pro dystopia socialism or whatever that was being described. And I was like, no, let's not do that. Maybe
like the universal high income.
Yeah. But anyway, like that, is that really living? Like if you live to be 120 with a universal life income and you're like basically half machine at that point, I don't know.
Shit's weird, man.
It really is. There was a good point in here, or a couple good quotes, if I can find it. He talked about the military being the most moral military on earth. Where the hell? Let me just word search this.
I'm not sure what that could mean.
Under my administration, the United States can and will responsibly accelerate the use of AI across intelligence and warfighting domains in line with American values. The United States possesses the most effective and moral military in the history of the world. It is also among the most trusted institutions in American life. That trust is rooted in an unbroken chain of command and accountability from our democratic process through civilian and military leadership to the men and women who carry out the mission. You know, it's weird. They haven't even tried to implement AI in our election systems yet, have they?
Gosh, I mean, I don't think they've told us about it if they have, but it could be in there.
That's true. Some of those candidates, maybe.
Well, if the machine's got an algorithm, as people describe, I mean, that's it, right?
Yeah. That's funny. But yeah, they're talking about trust in the democratic process in this while Trump is shitposting about elections. Crazy times. Okay, that's all I had on this NSPM, though. Curious to see if we'll ever figure out what those classified ones are. And then anytime these come up, I always go check the old ones, and there's been no change. We still don't know what 32 is. We don't know what was the other one? 29, 30. Some of these other ones.
If you ever get to interview Trump, you should just like go through your list of NSPMs and.
Oh, I totally would. Nobody's ever asked him about literally nobody has ever asked him about why he issued 10 NSPMs in his last, or 9 NSPMs in his last 10 days in office. It's never been asked to him.
It seems like every time he gets interviewed, the interview is always like the interviewer is asking from the adversarial side, like, hey, will you please tell us what you're doing? And he never does.
No. He just goes on to shit. It's horrible. It's horrible. I'm not going to talk about that, but let me talk about that for a little bit. Yeah, it's good shit. I love his interviews. But let's go into this now. Another thing from the website, just because I thought this is weird. Maybe this is nothing. I don't know, but it's weird how much shit I'm getting on it for even asking the question. So we're going to talk about it. Trump issued a pardon yesterday or 2 days ago to this Steven Beyer fella. And I dug into it. There's not many times that pardons get issued on the presidential website. And I even went as far as looking into how many pardons Trump has issued this entire term. And I counted them all out. I looked at every single one. There's an entire website you can go to do this. It's justice.gov. Search for the Office of the Pardons or whatever. And it gives you the entire list. All you got to do is click into one, takes you to the site. You can read the pardon. Okay. So I did this for all of them that are on the website, updated through March 2nd. There are 100 pardons, 19 clemencies. That's not counting the mass J6 ones or the 2020 election ones. This pardon of Steven Beyer is the only one ever where he's like, the reason I'm giving this pardon is because I got asked to by a bunch of people, and here are all those people. And it literally said, upon the advice and recommendation of the individuals listed below, and then again, as highlighted by the individuals listed below, talking about this guy, former congressman, and he lists all of them. All these people are current or former elected representatives. There might be like one or two in here that aren't. I'm pretty sure they all are, including Lindsey Graham.
Some of them are judges, right?
I don't know. Maybe a couple of them, but I'm pretty sure most of these are former representatives.
Okay. Yeah. So for some reason, Trump chose to highlight these people in this pardon.
Yeah. And I was like, why the hell is he doing that? This guy, Steven Beyer, it was insider trading. After he got out of office, he was like a consultant, and he got word of, I think it was like T-Mobile was going to acquire somebody at T-Mobile or Sprint. Yeah. Yep. And so he went and bought a bunch of stock. He used like 7 separate accounts to do it. and he made a bunch of money. He did the same thing with another, like there was 2 instances. And then at his trial, like he testified, the judge was like, dude, you freaking lied on the stand. That's obstruction of justice. Like the judge called him out for lying. Now, I'm not trying to like say the judicial system, maybe it was corrupt, but that Trump didn't say it was a corrupt judicial system or it was a sham trial or any of that in here. He's just like, all these people told me that I should pardon this guy. Here are all those people. The guy already served his prison sentence. So like he wasn't in jail anymore. This wasn't getting him out of jail. And so he's just like, okay, here we go. And I feel like when he does stuff like this, like sometimes I think Trump does things because he wants us to call him out for it. And I feel like that's what this is. It's the only time it's ever happened. So why is he doing it? And when I posted about it on Twitter.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say you don't think he's just putting all these guys on blast, but continue.
Well, that's what I think it is. Like I think that's what he wants us to do is be like, hey, look at all the people that wanted this guy out of prison for insider trading. When that's what we look at these, like we look at Congress all the time and be like, yeah, those guys are fucking all insider trading. Like, look at all these people. We have Nancy stock traders or whatever. All the congressmen, their trades are monitored, and all of them make a shit ton of money, and some of them do it in really suspicious ways. So it's like, why do these guys want this guy pardoned for stock trading? So yeah, I think he's putting these people on blast. That's what I think this is. But when I posted about it on Twitter, people are like, oh man, you must be a paid shill. You must be an infiltrator. Like, whose side are you on for like doing this? Because I was like questioning Trump's pardon. Like, what the fuck is going on, guys? Are we not allowed to do that anymore? This is another great example of the cheerleading. The cheerleaders, something's broken in the brain where they cannot fathom somebody looking at something Trump does and not just like accepting that as a good thing. I don't think this is necessarily, I think there's more to whatever this is. I don't know what it is, but this is weird. It's weird behavior.
They are constantly trying to maintain and gatekeep the boundaries of the in-group. And that's what it is. Asking questions about stuff like this threatens like in-group consensus on where things are going.
Yeah.
This doesn't, no sense. Your question is not at all threatening to Donald Trump. Donald Trump is, I don't want to say invincible, but certainly immune to some guy on a show on Rumble asking a question about a pardon. Like, that's totally appropriate, but it's beyond the bounds. They want to know that they're so consumed with constantly playing secret black hats and secret white hats that they're like looking for something to go after you for. I mean, I just saw a comment earlier in the chat. Like, I'm a spook now because I'm questioning elections. What?
Well, that means Trump is too, because he does that just as much as anybody, and on a much bigger platform.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and I think the way he did this to this pardon, it's interesting because if somebody were to ask him about it, like, hey, why'd you pardon Steven Beyer? The blame has been entirely shifted. He's like, well, because I had a bunch of these congressmen who came to me and asked me to do it. Like, go ask them why they wanted him pardoned. It was like, he signed it, yes, like he's accountable for that, but he did it because all of these people in here told him to do it. And I think it's an interesting way. Maybe he did this way because he wants people to be asking them why they wanted Steven Beyer pardoned. Like, Lindsey Graham, why did you support Steven Beyer from being pardoned when he was already out of jail and he was convicted of insider trading? Like, are you okay with insider trading? People should maybe be asking those questions.
I wonder what form their endorsement came in. Like, did these guys all sign on to a letter together and send that letter to Trump?
I don't know.
Because I mean, gosh, man, these are names. Obviously, Roger Wicker, Lindsey Graham, and some of these others are still in office, but a lot of them are people who served with Beyer in Congress 15 years ago or more. And so, like, did they come out of the woodwork and ask Trump for a pardon? I don't know. Go ahead.
I wonder if we're both just way too excited to be talking tonight. I wonder if like Steven Beyer did like the whole 51 intelligence agency letter style thing and compiled everybody's letters to like get himself pardoned.
Maybe. Man, I looked up on, I put it in his chat GPT, all these names, and I said, do these names. Like, is there anything in common here? And I couldn't find anything. They were just like, they were all the people who Trump named in this letter. And that was about it. And that they were political figures.
Yeah. Let me look this up too. Because I sent screenshots into ChatGPT to have it like tell me whether these are all elected representatives. And it said everybody was except for one, but maybe screenshots wasn't the way to do it. Did you ask it that?
Say it again.
Did you ask it if they were all elected or current or former?
Oh, no. Well, I know that there's a mix of current and former.
Yeah.
There's no question about that.
I just don't know if it's all of them. But I'm doing that right now. Because it could refer to state level. It's verifying the potentially tricky names right now. But we should get a good answer on that here soon. But unless somebody has another explanation as to why this is the only one, and you can all, like I said, go verify this for yourself on the Pardon website. It's the only time it's ever happened that I've found. So I'd be curious because he's calling out these people for doing it. There's something weird here. I don't know what it is. Maybe we'll find out later. Okay, I think that's all I have on those two things. We could get into the fun CIA story.
This Washington Post article is amazing.
Yeah.
And just to say this off the top, Steve Bannon, I think this is so funny, calls the Washington Post the Langley Bugle, like that this is the mouthpiece of the CIA. And of course, Jeff Bezos owns it. Although didn't he step back a couple of years ago, but also say, we're going to go a little bit more middle of the road. We're going to go a little bit more conservative. And then we got all these news stories about how the oligarch was making this a right-wing newspaper so that we could be, so we could have a better sense of its pretense toward objectivity.
And I do have an answer before we even get into this. I have an answer already from ChatGPT about these names. They were all current or former elected representatives except for two names. Curtis T. Hill Jr. was an elected official, but not congressional. He was elected Indiana Attorney General, and he served from 2017 to 2021. And then R. James Nicholson was the Secretary of Veterans Affairs. He was the U.S. Ambassador to the Holy See, and he was the RNC Committee Chairman. But yeah, so like everybody but those two people were all former elected representatives, and Trump's putting them on blast for that. So there you have it. But okay, let's get into the Langley Times, or what do you call it?
The Langley Bugle.
Langley Bugle. A CIA officer. Do you have highlights on this, by the way?
I didn't highlight. I think I did excerpt some stuff for. Hold on a second. Let me see.
Because I didn't highlight either, but I know a few of the things I wanted to read. And I'll just start reading through. If you have anything I missed, let me know. Cool. CIA officer who had millions in gold bars accused of creating fake spy program. David J. Rush worked on highly secretive intelligence programs and is alleged to have funneled millions of dollars for personal use via a fraudulent contract. And so we went over this story maybe twice. I think we went over it last Saturday a little bit, and the Wednesday before that we first brushed up on it because I think it was like breaking when we went live. But he's the guy who he was found with more than 40 million worth of gold bars in his house. He allegedly created a fake, highly classified intel program that he used as a conduit to funnel millions of dollars for his personal use, according to people familiar with the criminal investigation. This guy's background, by the way, is like he lied about a bunch of shit. He got in there, and he was somehow able to pull this off. Can you imagine what like the actual qualified smart people can do in the CIA in terms of ripping people off and creating like fake classified information?
What about this is fake? if it's classified and it served all the functions and it was created by someone in the CIA.
That's true. That's a great question. I don't know.
It's so funny. This story is so funny.
But are we allowed to call it fake, or do we call it fraudulent?
Someone will bite your head off. You can't call it fake.
David J. Rush, who was arrested last month, charged with one count of theft of public money, constructed what is known as a special access program, a sort of black box for the most secret intelligence operations. The people familiar with the investigation said even intelligence personnel with the highest security clearance cannot access an individual SAP, as they are known, without specific authorization. The people who spoke on the condition of anonymity to describe the ongoing investigation said the criminal probe found that Rush read in or initiated 2 colleagues into the highly secretive sham program, effectively cultivating them as perhaps unwitting accomplices and preventing them from talking to others about it. He persuaded one of them to transfer millions of dollars to the program via a government contract that was also fraudulent, they said. Now it's fraudulent, not fake. He made up a contract, one of the peeps said.
So we have 4 anonymous people. The whole story is just someone said. Someone said this happened.
Well, wait till we get to the handful part.
Rumors.
So
Go
ahead.
I also just want to know for the audience to keep track of how the Washington Post calls his little intelligence unit fake or a sham or something every single time they mention it. They want you to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that his program was definitely not a real CIA program, despite having all the markers of a real CIA program.
Oh, this is so good. Rush, who worked in the CIA's Directorate of Science and Technology, has not pleaded to the charges against him. The detention hearing in federal court in Alexandria Friday. I'm just going to read this whole article. It's so good. A judge ruled that Rush posed a significant flight risk and ordered him to remain detained at the local jail pending trial. The CIA, meanwhile, has put several agency officials on leave as FBI and spy agency investigations continue, 2 people familiar with the matter said. NBC News first reported that development, that people familiar did not disclose those officials' names or positions. The Science and Technology Directorate is the arm of the agency that creates technical espionage tools to aid U.S. spies and their agents abroad. Is that like is it in James Bond Q? Is that the guy who comes up with the tech for him, like the watches and the stuff?
Yeah.
So they have a real like Q at the CIA, not to be confused with the Q that we decode on a daily basis on the show.
Or maybe they're the same.
Ooh,
but wait, wasn't that Q at wasn't that an MI6 James Bond thing?
Maybe. I if we say Q is CIA, does that mean CIA is good now? But I do believe a lot of people who follow Q think that. So maybe, I don't know.
I don't know. Well, and if it's MI6, then we need to check in with Promethean Action.
Oh, that's true.
Because as soon as it crosses the border into London, it's all their business.
City of London bankers or whatever. Yeah, you're right. The account of those familiar with the criminal probe appears to raise serious questions about secrecy guardrails and vetting at the CIA. Wow. They're concerned about their secrecy guardrails at the CIA. That's shocking. It remains unclear, for example, how Rush could single-handedly create a black box for a fictional spy program without sign-off from his superiors. It's also unclear whether the 2 colleagues Rush brought into the fake program knew it was fraudulent. One of the people familiar with the probe said Rush's fake program involved continuity of government operations or programs to keep the U.S. federal government running in the event of a nuclear war, natural disasters, or other catastrophes. Guys, this guy created a COG program. He created Devolution within the CIA and made way more money than I've ever made. So why aren't you guys calling him a grifter instead of me?
I wonder if the 2 people he initiated into the program are like Elon Musk and I don't know, some other devolution-y sort of
figure. Yeah, I don't know.
Secret white hat character.
I mean, Ratcliffe's there now, so you never know. But yeah, this is. I want to know. Like, I want to see the actual indictment. I will never probably get it, but I'm curious, like, what kind of program he actually outlined and how he did it. I'm so curious. But Russia apparently used the fake government continuity program and the contract to persuade a government defense contractor to purchase large amounts of gold, this person said. So because he was planning for this like COG program or whatever it was, he convinced a contractor to purchase gold. So assuming like gold would be required if the government shut down, like that's my understanding kind of what that would imply, wouldn't it?
I mean,
yeah, who knows? It's an anonymous source, and it's
go back. What was it? The paragraph just before
this one. I mean, how could you use your fake continuity program to convince a contractor to purchase gold? You know,
yeah,
like,
I don't know. I thought maybe like Rush was a code name for you here on Badlands. You have created the fake continuity of government program, and now with your Gold Co commercials, you've convinced Elon Musk to buy gold.
Oh my gosh, I wish. I can't imagine. We might actually get a commission one of these days from that. Badlandsgold.com. Speaking of that, it's another buying opportunity to come down a little bit. Even more astounding, I think this is the one with the handful quote. This is so funny. Even more astounding, according to former U.S. officials and others familiar with the issue, is that Russia's duties at the CIA included involvement in one of the government's most sensitive intelligence gathering operations, a project so secret that only a handful of U.S. intelligence officials and lawmakers knew of its existence. A handful is 5, by the way. Most fingers, most hands have 5 fingers.
More than a handful is a waste, John.
Wait, what?
More than a handful is a waste.
What's that from?
What? Really?
Yeah.
You can look that up. The chat will tell you what that means.
I'll look it up right now.
If I knew you were actually going to stop and look it up, I would have.
You would have told me.
Told you, yeah.
It's just a common phrase. There's no single known originator.
What? Okay, yeah. Yes, that's right. But it has a single known meaning.
Yeah.
It's talking about when you're grabbing kids, John.
I see that now. Primarily refers to female breast size. Suggesting. Oh, that's great. See, I learn something new every day. This is great. Yeah. Anyway, a project so secret that only a handful of U.S. intelligence officials and lawmakers knew of its existence, according to 4 people familiar with the matter. So 5 people knew of this program's existence, and 4 of them all have told the Washington Post about this thing. That I just found that so fucking stupid and funny. Like, did they not read their own articles? Like, that does not make sense. None of this makes sense. But I thought that was hilarious. Can't believe I got the titties thing wrong. I'm a little embarrassed.
That's all right, man. They don't have all the phrases up in North Dakota.
Yeah, clearly not. More than a handful is a waste. I don't know. I might disagree, but maybe not. These details of that program, separate from the fake project Russia allegedly created, remain highly classified. The Washington Post is withholding details about the program after U.S. officials warned that disclosure could jeopardize ongoing intelligence gathering operations. So that's another interesting fact here. Only 5 people know about this program. It's so secret, but they told it to the Washington Post, but they are not going to talk about it because it's so secretive, yet they were told about it. That seems stupid. Rush arrested with 303 gold bars. We can skip that. I don't really care about that. In a hearing's public portion, they said that Rush was a master manipulator who lied to colleagues about basic facts of his pedigree, lied to neighbors about working as a Navy pilot, can't be trusted. I don't know. That might be all I really needed to read.
Did you read did we pass the quote from the Mark Polymeropoulos character who talks about how
right here.
There you go.
It's shocking that he got by a process that scrutinizes everything, said Mark Polymeropoulos. That's an unfortunate last name. A former CIA operations officer whose field assignments span the globe. They interview friends, relatives, professors. It's a full-on colonoscopy. It is weird that he got by it. That's a great point.
Yeah. So his big problems here, he has lied about. He's created a fake intelligence operation inside the CIA where to get the job, he lied about his entire past, even though he was going to get the fullest, most exacting background check that the world could ever imagine. And somehow they just missed it. And this guy slipped through their fingers and then set up a continuity of government program.
Did it say when he started this stuff? Do we know?
I don't recall that. By the way, while you're looking for that, the Mark Polymeropoulos thing, I looked this up on this is according to the machine, just to be clear. but he was involved with the Hunter Biden 51 intel officials letter.
Of course,
he was recruited by Michael Morrell to help draft the statement, and he's also one of the central figures to the Havana syndrome thing. And we're supposed to be getting the ultimate truth of that revealed to us by outgoing DNI Tulsi Gabbard.
That is definitely interesting. The reason I'm curious about when it happened, it looks like he got hired or he joined the CIA around 2009. But now that I think about it, how did he pass a background check? If you remember back to April of 2023, there was a new Department of War directive where the Defense Counterintelligence and Security Agency was no longer going to be doing, I think, the background checks. Or they were at least getting, never mind. Let me take them back. I think they might still be doing background checks. They do it for 95% of the federal government, but they're no longer a defense intelligence component head. Maybe that has nothing to do with it, but maybe the timing of that is they were digging into this guy and be like, holy shit, how'd this guy get through? We better make some changes here. I don't know.
Reading that article, it occurred to me that this story is so over the top. Yeah. But there's a lot of little disclosures about how things work at the CIA, and I thought that stuff was particularly interesting.
Yeah, like this one here. One official said that spy agencies often use financial tradecraft to move large amounts of money for intelligence operations without attracting the attention of adversary spy services from China, Russia, and elsewhere. It's important, the former official said, that those countries don't know the source or destination of the money. The problem, it means that neither do we.
And it was crazy to me. This is what I said to you this morning, that they changed subjects so drastically at the end. Just these last two paragraphs, they tack on like, oh yeah, the CIA has this program where we just send gold bars to whoever we need to.
Yeah, I wonder what the point of this is, right? Like, why write an article like this if you're the Langley Bugle, right? Like you're the kind of their mouthpiece. What are you trying to accomplish here? Because this doesn't make the CIA look good. It doesn't make people trust the CIA any more than they shouldn't already anyway. But this whole thing just seems stupid. Like if this guy can do it, and they go on to list how he got through with back in what about the people with good credentials? How many of these operations are out there that are just total shams, total fake operations where these people are just enriching themselves?
And maybe that's what we're being shown here as a template for how these things go down in the CIA. And obviously, I don't know. This is pure speculation, just to be very clear. But if let's say there were 50 of these, right, and throughout the CIA, all these different programs that senior officials set up, they were using them for fraud, they were wasting people's money, whatever it was. If it was a rampant problem within the CIA, then we would immediately go up one level above these guys and say, there is a systematic problem at the CIA, and this is what people do. That would be, I think, kind of revelatory. And I don't know if they would use that to kind of wash their hands of responsibility, to kind of figure out some scapegoat, a fall guy that can be taken down for that problem. Like all this happened under John Brennan's watch, something like that. I could imagine it going in that direction.
Yeah. God, there was something just recently about John Brennan. Oh, somebody who worked under him or with him.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of it now. I thought about it earlier this week. I should have wrote it down. There was a story though where somebody was in the news who, it was Patrick Byrne. That's what it was. It was that story earlier this week where what's his name? Kurt Olson got sent over. He's down in the Florida and under the Joe DiGeneva and his RICO case, and Badlands Media posted the story. Patrick Byrne shared it, and then I responded. I was like, oh, well, as long as, the former, in quotes, CIA agent is good with it, then it must be a good move, kind of like obviously being a little facetious. And when I replayed his video where he admits to being CIA, and he's like, he came up under Brennan, he was doing operations with Brennan, and I was like helping set off the Russiagate hoax stuff. It's like, oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, did something happen in the chat where everybody's freaking out?
I don't think it's a freak out. Did I miss something?
I don't
People
know.
went off about people had fun with the boobs.
Yeah, boobs are fun.
People are talking hockey.
Everybody's mad at Valseco, and I don't know what he did.
Oh, he came in insulting us and then thought he could pay us $5 to respond to him.
Oh no, man, you got to pay $20 for insults around these parts. Anyway, is the game over, by the way? I forgot to even look. Do we have an update on the score? Anyway, I guess I'll just check myself. 4-4, end of overtime. What the hell?
Wow.
They score 8 goals in 2 periods, and then they can't score in an overtime period.
You're going to be able to watch double overtime, potentially.
Maybe. You don't think you got another hour in you, or what?
I mean, hey, man, I could go till Wednesday if you want.
No, thanks. But I do have one more story. There's another story for sure we wanted to do, right?
What was it? The Plattner and Hunter thing?
We could do the Hunter thing and the Plattner thing, but also the Bill Pulte one. That's the one I was thinking of, I think.
Oh, yeah.
If I can find the right tab here. I have it open somewhere. Yeah, I think it's this one. And also, you know what? Before we even do this, I should probably check if we have another studio ad to do, because I think we do. Yes, we do. Let me do this real quick, and then we'll do the rest of it and get out of here. We got some Rumble Studio Chef IQ. Oh, what an awesome Father's Day gift, everybody. Father's Day is coming up, and if you don't know what to get dad yet, this is it. Skip the random last-minute gift and get him something he'll actually use every single week. Chef IQ Sense is a smart wireless thermometer that connects to your phone and tells you exactly when your food is done with no guesswork. It tracks your cook in real time. It walks you through every step, and it tells you exactly when to flip, pull, rest, and serve. So instead of, I think it's done, you get, I know it's perfect. No more overcooked steaks or dry chicken. We're talking restaurant-level results at home. Steak, burgers, chicken, fish on the grill, in the oven, even in the smoker. And the best part, you don't have to babysit anything. Watch the game, hang with family. Your phone handles it. It's basically like having a cooking coach in your pocket. Right now for Father's Day, you can get 40% off site-wide at chefiq.com with code DPH. That's chefiq.com, promo code DPH. Cook smarter with Chef IQ Sense. And I can 100% vouch for that product. But also, speaking of like meats and stuff, tomorrow for America First Story, 1 p.m. Eastern on Badlands, where I interview our sponsors, I interviewed the rattlesnake meats guy. Mm-hmm. And I'd never actually talked to him before. He was a connection to us from Kimberly, our accountant who passed away. Miss her, love her. But he's from Kansas, and she got to know him. And we start talking, and the dude is based as hell. He's like, government sucks, fuck the government, they can't trust him, election fake, like all this shit. And he's like, doesn't really watch Badlands all that much, but he's super based. And yeah, you guys should check out that interview tomorrow, because he's awesome and his products are awesome. So yeah, anyway. Okay, let's talk Bill Pulte. So Trump was doing an interview with the Wall Street Journal. I was going to get to the right archived version of the story here. And Chris, do you want to maybe set the table of like how we've framed this in the past about, maybe we don't need the DNI because it's probably not constitutional?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's something I've pursued since the fantasy team began to be named by Donald Trump back in November 2024, after he, quote unquote, won the fake election of that year, when he started bringing in the entire cast of Fox News and a number of kind of rising GOP establishment stars, and then filled his administration with these kinds of people. So I think that a lot of the federal government, especially many of the departments and agencies, just simply should not exist and are unconstitutional or anti-constitutional, and that a lot of them are based on functions of the 14th Amendment that kind of inverted the Constitution and then expanded the body of federal law to touch a number of things that the founders would have never imagined the federal government being involved in. And so if if Donald Trump is doing what I think a lot of people think he's doing, certainly what I think he's doing, and actually trying to move power back to the people and eliminate the unconstitutional elements of the government. In fact, I've been thinking about a good way to describe kind of this whole thing, and I've come to retro constitutional. So it's not that, so it's more like he's undoing all of these distortions that have been layered onto the Constitution. And so if there are a number of agencies within the federal government that aren't actually constitutional and shouldn't actually exist, then they're already nullities. Like, you can't have agencies that violate the Constitution. And the president, if he's doing his duty and keeping his oath to the Constitution, can't be running agencies that he believes violate the Constitution. And so I think a lot of these agencies are kind of just, however, I don't know how long the road will be to wind these things down, but I think that they're kind of like, if they're not shells yet, they're certainly not the way they were, and they're going to kind of be emptied out over time and taken down, I believe. And so then, knowing with that in mind, when you nominate a person for a position in one of those agencies, if I'm right, then that nomination is not to run that agency, take advantage of all its powers, and do it the best that anyone could ever do it. I don't think that the solution to any of these problems is to make the massive, sprawling federal bureaucracy work well and efficiently. It's to get rid of the sprawling federal bureaucracy. And so that's why I'm not on board with the GOP establishment. I'm not on board with the Project 2025 stuff. And I know that a lot of that stuff is in process, but all these agencies, when Tulsi was there, now that Pulte's there, I still don't think the DNI should exist. It is a post 9/11, post Patriot Act propping up of the deep state into the intelligence community to gather all that information and then be the sole conduit to the president for getting all that information. Not sole conduit, but key conduit maybe. Anyway.
Yeah, I think you nailed it there. And this is like one of the things that when we talk about this stuff and when we harp on the cheerleaders is because we're advocating and have been advocating for that same approach and the same dismantling of all these agencies since before Trump got reelected back. We've been doing it since we started. And this is what we believe Trump is doing. And so even when we see things on the TV that don't appear to be doing that, we're not going to cheerlead for it because that's not what we think is ultimately the goal with some of this stuff. And with the Department of Education, that was like what we were promised, like, hey, we're going to look to dismantle this. And we haven't seen that yet. In fact, it got more funding this year than it got last year. Super gay. When it comes to the CIA, prior to Trump getting back in there, we wanted him to like dismantle the entire thing and it was scattered to 1,000 pieces or whatever that quote is. Very similar to the hand quote and the boob quote that you were talking about. I don't remember exactly, but whatever.
But then the crazy thing is that other people actually just want to see these people or be told these people are like doing all this stuff in their jobs. Like, let's harness the power of the Office of Director of National Intelligence. No, let's eliminate the Office of Director of National Intelligence.
100%. 100%. And that's what we may be getting now. We've been talking about this, and this comes out from the Wall Street Journal. Trump urges less shackled Pulte to fire intelligence community employees. President said in an interview, Office of Director of National Intelligence should be much smaller and maybe even terminated. He said he wants Bill Pulte to begin firing a large number of employees as part of a shakeup of the U.S. intelligence community. It makes you wonder, too, because like all the things about Tulsi Gabbard and all the things, she did the reporting stuff. We're told great work. We'll see how the report are, put it through spell check. But everybody's like, yeah, this is amazing. Why wasn't she able to fire all these people? Makes you wonder if this is what Trump wants. Why couldn't she?
And why is this nomination such a much bigger deal? And we don't even know that this is a nomination, really. He named him as acting DNI, and then he said he doesn't think that Pulte even wants to stay forever. He said that in the Oval Office yesterday or the day before. And so this isn't even a nomination. He just says, you're going to do this job for the time being. This seems like it has scared all of the people it should scare far more than the Tulsi Gabbard thing did. She went and sat down for the Senate hearing and the confirmation with Meghan McCain, Sage Steele from ESPN, and like that House and Habit influencer lady that wants to, I don't know, that account sucks.
Like
But
Fresh and Fit? What?
No, not those guys.
Must be confused with somebody else. But yeah, so in an interview with he said that he privately told Pulte that he believes the Office of DNI, which oversees 18 intelligence agencies, not 17. It's almost a decode, but not quite, guys. Sorry. Was unnecessary and or too big. I'd like to see it smaller. That's what she said. I think there are a lot of people in there that shouldn't be there. Trump said, pointing to holdovers from the Biden and Obama administrations, which how are they still there in the first place? It's mind blowing. But whatever. He asked whether he's calling Pulte to fire people. Trump said he wants him to start the process, adding that his eventual nominee to serve in the role permanently should continue that work. And then I want to get to the part. Trump in an interview argued that Pulte's acting status is an asset. You're less shackled. He said it sort of gives you more power, for a somewhat limited time period. And I don't know if I like that seems, once you get in there, you should be completely unshackled because you've already passed the nomination process. Just do your thing. So I don't know if I understand his argument there, but he's probably right. I don't know. But then the part that I want to get to the part where he says maybe dismantle it. Oh, right here. Meanwhile, Trump told the Journal he wants Pulte to approach the job similarly to the way Education Secretary Linda McMahon has managed her agency. McMahon has moved to reduce the size of the department, which Trump has previously said he wants to eliminate and shift some of its duties to other agencies. We've made the Department of Education much smaller, and likewise, this should be much smaller, Trump said, referring to the ODNI, and this should maybe even be terminated, and we'll make that decision.
Yeah. So it sounds like that decision's been made.
Yes. Now he's just kind of disclosing it.
Yeah. And again, I don't know anybody aside from you and I who talked about this.
Yeah, nobody.
So, yeah, I mean, I know that people get upset with it and they get mad at Badlands for not talking about all of the trending topics of the day and saying the base and red pilled things that we're supposed to say, but in our new special way that makes everybody feel like they're finally with the right influencers. There's a method to the madness.
Yeah, 100%. And another thing too that we see a lot of, even when we talk just now about why not Tulsi? Why couldn't Tulsi do this? Maybe Tulsi wasn't what we thought everybody said she was. There's a lot of rationalization that goes on. And I'll never understand that. We don't have to rationalize stuff that we don't for sure will ever understand. And if we're going to rationalize, if you're going to do that, that's fine too, or whatever, because it happens. But you have to be willing to rationalize more than just one possibility, because pretty much all the time when people rationalize, they always rationalize to the definitely a white hat, definitely working on something better, bigger behind the scenes, definitely going to save everybody. That may not be true. We don't know if that's true. That's not always true with everybody Trump puts in there. We can't claim to know that for sure.
Yeah.
But if you speak the opposite of that, you're called an infiltrator. It's annoying.
Yeah. And I mean, ultimately the purpose of all of this, if it has a purpose, is to help us guide our own lives responsibly, to make decisions about, public affairs responsibly. And so you actually do have to think about multiple interpretations of these things. It's not just, and some people treat it like a sport. Many people treat it like a soap opera. I mean, all of this stuff, and to some extent, is gossip. The what we see on the mainstream media is largely gossip. I mean, how much time has been spent by people supposedly on the right in the last 9 or 10 months talking about which side of the Erica Kirk or Candace Owens divide they are on?
I haven't spent any time.
Or which side, or which side of the Israel thing or the Ukraine thing or whatever. It's always about just personalities and who's where. It's so weird. It's so weird. People don't want to know. They don't want to figure out what's actually happening. They just want to engage in the daily drama of it because it feels, I don't know, familiar, comforting. I don't know.
And that's a weird thing too, is because I've noticed that if people get mad at you for not caring about the daily drama, there's so many times in my daily show where I'm sorry guys, I just don't care. I don't give a shit about the story and I don't talk about it. Mm-hmm. Then you get yelled at why aren't you talking about this? Because I don't fucking want to.
Yeah.
I yelled at somebody yesterday about that. I can't remember what they I don't know, can't remember what they said. It's like new name. You haven't seen him in the chat ever before. They come in and like, I can't believe you won't do this. I'm like, I've been doing this show the same way for a year and a half, dude. Like, go get that sand out of your vagina in somebody else's chat. It's retarded. Norm Eisen is big mad. Thank you, Boom Diggity, for sending this in. $20 rant. He's big mad about Pulte. Eisen loves the document that created the DNI. Makes me wonder if he had a hand in writing it. And this is the article that she shared. Yeah. This is by Norm Eisen and Riley Pinonin. Last month, DNI, Tulsi Gabbard announced her departure. Trump's choice of replacement, William Pulte, a loyalist whose leading qualification appears to be his appetite to use power for political retribution. He has no intelligence background, no national security expertise, and is utterly unfit to serve as acting DNI. And you know, if Norm hates it, it's probably a good negative indicator. Fortunately, there is something that can be done about it. Senators should refuse to move Section 702 surveillance reauthorization, which could be abused by Pulte, and they are doing just that. And this is what's kind of interesting because I am totally okay with this move. Like, I don't want that reauthorized anyway. And I don't think Trump does either.
Yeah.
So I think that's great.
Norm Eisen's secret white hat.
There we go. There we go. Now we're going to interest some people.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm going to read this. I'm not going to read this whole thing right now, but I'm going to read it later. Not on air. But thank you for sending that in, Boom. Appreciate that. Let's do the last.
You see him mention the NSPM in there? You got to pull it back up. Look at that. The bottom of the first paragraph there.
Right here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. What the hell? Notwithstanding purported limits on the use of 702 to target U.S. persons, the intelligence community has been able to use so-called backdoor searches. Those are the worst kind of searches I've heard. To collect information on U.S. citizens, read in conjunction with the president's widespread direction to seek out so-called domestic terrorists through NSPM 7, Pulte would be in a position to supercharge his baseless attacks on presidential foes. Oh my gosh. You don't see many people talk about NSPM, so that is interesting.
And why is Norm Eisen seeding that?
Well, I mean, that was like the Antifa one, you know? Domestic terrorists, Antifa, they really don't want people to think or associate Antifa with the Dems, deep state. Yeah. Anyway, let's I'm going to read that. We'll definitely talk about that probably next week in more detail. Let's talk about the Plattner thing real quick, and then we can wrap it up. I'll be honest, I have not followed much of the Plattner thing either. What I have seen, what I've gathered on social media is he has a Nazi tattoo, and he is cheated on his wife a lot or something. Like he signed up for a Tinder thing and
send some text messages or whatever.
Yeah. And should I just play the video, or is there anything else you want to add?
No, I'm the same as you. This is not the sort of thing that I am interested in, and I don't care about the result of the election. So yeah.
I don't even know what state. Oh, I guess from this video, I didn't know what state he was running for until I saw this video where he said the state like 3 times.
Things I said on the internet a decade ago came out into the public as I shared my personal journey through PTSD and darkness of recovery and accountability and growth. Maine had my back. Now, as every single piece of that past and journey gets dug up, litigated, and weaponized, you have my back.
There you go. Well, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, first off, I think it's weird that Fox News is broadcasting that.
Yeah,
they're
who's he
like
running against?
Basically advertising his campaign. I think he's supposed to be the candidate that goes against Susan Collins.
Oh.
So that part of it, I think, is strange. Like there's something going on. They're pushing this guy out there for a reason. But and I don't know his personal character. I don't know if he's sincere in this stuff. I can't possibly know any of that. But I think that it's good that we're probably getting to the point where the mention of a political scandal in the news doesn't immediately end someone's candidacy. And I'm talking about this only in the abstract. I don't care about this guy at all. Okay. Just to make that abundantly clear for the audience. But if we want the American people to take active roles in the government and public service to whatever extent the government exists and the rest of it, it would be a lot better to have real people who have done real jobs and like are real members of real communities representing those communities. And in order to have good people want to do those kinds of things, well, digging into their past to figure out what their worst moments were and then putting them on display for the country is not a good way to get good people with families who want to live nice lives to join the effort and help out. So, you know, I don't know this guy. I don't know that he deserves anyone's support, or people can just make their own decisions about forgiveness or whatever, but he has a tattoo and there are some rumors, or he said some messed up things or did some bad things in relationships. Like everybody has virtually everyone, unless you like married your high school sweetheart and are the greatest Christian couple I can ever imagine. Everybody's had some bad relationship moments that they probably regret, that they feel shame about and don't want broadcast to the world. So like, if people can stand in there and take that, like maybe it's time that we stop making politics about that shit.
Yeah. I mean, I've been there. I've had a couple regrettable moments that have become public. I'd say, I can't believe you simped so hard for Platinum, man. I don't know what happened to you.
Yeah, totally.
Thank you, Captain Willie Grimm 338 for becoming a YouTube member. Can't believe there's that many Captain Willie Grimms out there, but appreciate that. And yeah, I agree with what you said though. But I also like, he's probably like iconic uniparty or whatever figure, like a, you know,
yeah,
this stage in the game.
I don't want him to make any rules for me. I don't. By the way, if he gets elected, it'll be an illegitimate election. So, I don't know why anyone of integrity would be searching for political power through this process on a federal level right now.
It's like, we got the communists elected in New York. That didn't do it. What if we got a literal Nazi elected in Maine? Maybe that'll do it. Maybe not. Probably not. All right. One more thing, guys. Get your tickets to GART June 25th through the 28th. We are doing a few more exclusive live streams on, I think, Thursdays leading up to this event. So badlandsmedia.tv/events. You need your tickets to get access to those exclusive live streams, but they're a lot of fun. We're also going to be doing a little golf outing on Thursday morning prior to the event. So for those who are there, we'll send out some emails and get, we'll probably do that Monday, send out the first batch of emails to gauge interest. That should be a good time. Chris, you'll be joining us for the golf, won't you?
Oh, I don't know about that, John.
Oh, come on.
Maybe I'll
rent a cart. Yeah. You can at least rent a cart. But yeah, other than that, we got a couple boosts. We have from Iron Time from the UK for $5, says, checking in with the two best InfoWar coaches out there to review my thinking performance through another week of PSYOPs, retardation, and all-around discombobulation. Huge respect for your intellectual honesty, consistency, and for always keeping it real. Thank you for that.
Nice.
Yeah, and then 1027JS says $20. $420 says, thanks. Thank you, Joe, my fellow North Dakotan. Yeah, the one thing we didn't do was go through Trump's Twitter or truth posts. Was there anything good?
Oh yeah, he's been crushing it today. He had another drone port.
Hell yeah.
And that's actually, you can read the caption on that, by the way. It's probably worth it.
This will someday save Washington. Judge Leon has to get out of the way and fast. He's putting our country in danger. Damn.
We need that drone port by the time the UFC fight happens next weekend.
Yeah. But if Judge Leon gets his way, it'll never happen. She question mark is obsessed. That's a great one.
Yeah. Rosie O'Donnell. And then I love this one.
Yeah, oh, that's great. Man, the whole reflecting pool thing has been such a weird little kerfuffle online. Like, I never realized people cared so much about the reflecting pool and what it looks like. And these are great, man. I'm proud to be endorsed by President Trump.
That video
is this
too.
This one?
Yeah. I mean, it's so ridiculous.
Is it a good outro video, maybe?
It's a minute long, so it's a short outro video, but yes, it would be suitable for that.
Okay. Well, we can do that then. Let's go through the rants real quick before we do. Snowcat Operator gifted a sub. Thank you so much. Johnny A gifted a sub. A couple of them, 2 subs, it looks like. Johnny A also left $10, says, keep up the good fight. The Boom Diggity left $50, says, Gavin Wonka's Counting Factory video. Ooh, this might be a good outro too. Who knows? Let's check it out. Oh, it's like 2 minutes and 13 seconds long.
That looks more outro video suitable.
Okay, so
maybe they thought, I don't know.
We'll do the Trump one first, and then this one once we get to the outro part. So we'll do them both. So thank you, Boom Diggity, for sending that in. And Emerald Dragon 1333 says, "I want my government shaken, not stirred." It's a great comment. Love that. 15 Tony BA gifted a sub. So did Hammer Guy 35. Thank you guys. Valseco 16 says, best $5 I've ever spent. Maybe John, Chris, what would 100% real election be in your world? Please explain what would make you say that was a real election. Besides Donald JT, a senator or even a mayor. So I don't know what. I don't understand. You said he was talking shit about us though?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So then, yeah, like I said, at least $20 to get an answer to your question if you're going to talk shit like that. Emerald Dragon 1333. I'm mostly on board with dystopian bots taking my job. Sure, some will be bums, but it would make so much time for creativity and inventions to come about from the rest of us. Sick of working my life away.
Yeah, I just don't know how the rest of society continues if the money is all just created from nothing and given to everyone. Like,
yeah,
hey, maybe there's something I'm not thinking of.
I don't know. Have you and Bernie Bright talked about this yet?
That particular thing? No, I don't think so.
I think you guys should. That'd be a good one. You should watch that movie with Chris Pratt and the AI judge.
I did watch that. That was surprisingly good. I thought it was going to be really bad. It's hard to make that movie. It's like a complicated.
There's some plot holes, but
certainly there are definitely problems with it. It's not a great movie, but it was interesting with a very complicated subject.
Yeah,
and
I think it's worth discussing on the show, like for you. So that's like the future they envision. You know?
Yeah. It's on the list for sure.
Cool. The Boom Diggity in the movie Lord of War, the Nick Cage character used all the items that Mr. Goldrush had in his possession. That's interesting. I haven't seen that movie in so long. Isn't that movie like 20 years old or something?
Yeah, Burning Bright and I covered that. I don't know, 3-4 months ago or something like that. And I asked Boom Diggity in the chat to tell me what those items were, and I bet it's she, right? Did.
Yes.
And I did not see the response.
Well, here, what I can do is search the Boom Diggity. The Boom Diggity. G'day, Chris. I ran out of space to rant that part. Dark energy weirdo, probably pedo. Mark's safe today from having any Nazi and other hate tattoos. Maybe if she did list it, it's gone now. So sorry, guys. Diane Laporte Clump says the government can create agencies to control their actions, and those that benefit we the people. If they don't, they are null and void. Dig it. The Boom Diggity for another $20 says Norm Eisen is big mad about Pulte. Eisen loves the document that created the DNI. Makes me wonder if he had a hand in writing it. Thanks again for sending that in. I'm going to read that. And then the Real Mega Mama says, John, could you do an updated 1-hour show of what devolution is and how it connects with current events so we can share, and the difference between Q and devolution, what they share? You know, that's a good idea. I haven't done like a dedicated updated, like what is devolution since my devolution recap series, which was like 2 years ago. Trying to look at my playlist for that. But that's a good idea. I'll think about putting something like that together and do like a standalone show for it. So thank you for sending that in. But other than that, I think that's all of them. Do us a favor, guys. Hit the thumbs up here and on YouTube. I'll be back to Monday for the Daily Herold, 1 p.m. Eastern. Chris, when are you back on? Thursdays now?
I'll actually, yes, but I'll be on with Burning Bright tomorrow night for the narrative.
Awesome. Okie dokie. And with that, we're going to do 2 outro videos. and get you out of here. I don't think I'm going to be doing any gaming tomorrow, so just a heads up. But maybe the next weekend. What?
I said, damn it, John.
We'll see. Probably not. I think we're going to Medora tomorrow. Place in the Badlands. We're going to go take the kids out there and the girlfriend.
Nice.
She's never been. So don't know if I'll have the time, but we'll see. Anyway, Chris, it's been a pleasure as always.
Yes, sir.
What's the quote again about the boobs? I want to make sure.
More than a handful is a waste.
I think we need that on a t-shirt.
I think that's on some t-shirts.
Yeah, probably. All right. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the outros.
Trump, 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 Trump. Everywhere I go, they love Donald Trump. Down in Mexico, they love Donald Trump. Flew to Italy, they love Donald Trump. In the Middle East, they love Donald Trump. And some Africans, they love Donald Trump. Even in China, they love Donald Trump. Man, these Indians, they love Donald Trump. Trump, 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 Trump. Everywhere I go, they love Donald Trump. Trump, 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 Trump. Everywhere I go, they love Donald Trump. Man, I gotta say, I love Donald Trump. Might be president one day, just like Donald Trump. Just like Donald Trump.
Welcome to Gavin Walker's Ballot Factory.